Standing. This is too much. So thank you for coming. Is this on? Do I hit a button or are we good? It's just on. Okay. Thank you for coming. If you guys, this is super casual. Any questions, ask me. If something comes up while I'm talking, we'll just play it by ear. But I'm going to actually start with what Durf wanted to start with yesterday. I'm going to talk about renewals because I had one yesterday that just was insane. So we have a huge renewal department. I actually don't handle renewals, but a lot of my agents want me to handle their property because it's their property. But we have a renewal department and they're pretty aggressive. We start sending out notices to our clients the 9th month into their policy. So they have time to budget for the next year because obviously the cost goes up. We make no money the first year on our warranties because we're paying out probably 3 times per property on an average. So we make money on our renewals and our renewal price is $150 more. It's 100 or 150. The DOA changes it all the time, and it's not up to us, it's up to the Department of Insurance. So yeah.
Oh, it is, it's different. I thought it was the same.
Nope. Oh, it's
Okay,
for,
it's always-
for regular homeowners, it's a renewal increase, just like our insurance goes up, just like everything goes up.
Okay.
It's between $100 and $150, depending on when they expire. You guys, we incur that for you as a courtesy for you guys working with us. So that's a really good perk for you guys. You never have to pay that price. Larry Moore has had his house when he used to live here before he moved to Arrowhead or Big Bear. He had his house with us for 30 years and he goes, I can't believe you guys renew me every year. He goes, I'm a huge loss for your company because like we replumbed his house. He lived on PB Drive West or north if I remember. And I remember going to parties up there, but I mean, I'm like, Larry, what is going on? His whole piping went out and everything, but he always paid the price of the brochure at the time of what it costs. So if we have a price increase, you would also pay that too, because we are licensed to sell that product at that time. Your bill will come over and show the increase because we can't discriminate real estate agents versus homeowners. So you would just call our 800 number and say, I'm Suzy's realtor. I work at the real estate group, and then they'll take it off manually. So you cannot renew online because we're doing that as a courtesy for you guys and we have to do it manually. So the second year or third or fourth or fifth or thereafter the first year, you can actually do a payment plan. So the first year we always ask it in full, and the second year you can do, we'll do an auto pay. So people love that as well. That is the only time that you can change coverage. Whether you add something or whether you delete, you cannot do it mid-form. You have to do it. That's the only time you can make changes. So on renewals with our renewal percentage, we're the highest renewal rate of all our competitors in the industry. I think we're at 56%. So over half of our clients are, can you grab me a water, please? Somebody pass one down. I'm going to pass some. Half of our client, over half of, thank you so much. Half of our clients are renewing with us because, you know, I just had somebody the other day and they said they were going to charge me $200 to come out and take a look at my system. And they weren't even going to apply that to the job. $200 for just to take a look at it. And then they would go from there, $200. So, I mean, they want to use the warranty. They want to, if we do something to the property, if the guy happens to have tar on the bottom of his feet, you have recourse to take with us. So just a caveat into that, I had an agent the other day and she said, we had a couple of guys out, or no, she wanted to use her own, her husband was a contractor. So he had a bunch of friends that were in the contracting business. She wasn't going to use her husband because he didn't know how to do that particular job. It was concrete and case plumbing. And she's like, we're going to use our guy. And I'm like, well, you know, we don't reimburse outside our contractor network because we have no recourse to take with these guys. And I said, but you know, you've worked with me for 30 years. I'll give you what our cost would have been as a concession, as a favor, which I don't like to do because it goes against me and the company doesn't like to do that. But if there is something that, you know, there's secondary damage or there's something we can't get our guy out, I can obviously work with you guys. Long story short, she had the guy go out. 2 months go by and she calls us for another problem within the same thing. And I said, well, we can't touch his problem because it's in, it's an in, you have some food and grab some food and then just come and take a seat. We're like, we went out and we're like, the guy completely messed this up. We don't want to touch it and be liable for his error and open up a can of worms. So that's the reason that we don't use, and she goes, well, this guy won't come back out. And I go, well, we have a recall period, 30 days, we won't charge you, we'll go back out. Sometimes we have to troubleshoot. She goes, this guy won't come out at all. So that is another reason that we don't use outside contractors. So she ended up having to pay out of pocket to find somebody else to redo the job. It was just an absolute nightmare, and it continues. I mean, there's more problems that arise from this one problem. That's why we like to have some control with our Fidelity network. And again, we will offer you outside service if it's 105 degrees and you have an elderly family, lady or gentleman in the house, and we can't get out there for a certain amount of days. We'll authorize outside service for your client. We'll email instructions on what to do, and we'll talk to the contractor that they use, and it works like a charm, no problem. So if you all know this brochure, the one that I have over there, this is exactly the same one. It's just folded. Okay, so there's no difference. But our service fee, just take a note, is 85. Everybody has gone up to 85 across the board. So nobody's less, nobody's more. We're all 85. If you have a problem that your client has a problem that, say they have two plumbing problems, say the upstairs sink is leaking and then the downstairs toilet is running. As long as they call those problems in at the same time, and we have one trip with one contractor, it's only one service fee. But if you have an AC call and you have a dishwasher call and you have a roof call and it requires 3 different contractors, it's 3 different service fees. And then also we get a lot of questions like, well, I wanted the guy to add something on while he was at the property. I wanted him to take a look at this and he wouldn't, and he left so abruptly. Our guys are on schedule. They get a log every morning. You have to hit these 12 homes today or you're in trouble. And so they know how much time, because these guys are qualified, they know how much time they're going to do on a plumbing leak. They know how much time they're going to do if they have to break in a wall. They do vary out their schedule. That's why they can't stay at a property if someone wants to add it on. So make sure you tell your client to call it in so we can put it on our schedule and schedule the guys, because we control them. What else can I tell you? Access is an issue. We get a lot of questions on that. So if you, like right now, I'm seeing a lot of those stackable washer and dryers in like, especially these smaller beach areas, and they kind of have it in the closet or the pantry area. I actually have that in my house. Hey, Timmy. So if you notice, like if it's in a cubby, so to speak, there's a ridge on either side, and then the washer and dryer are behind that ridge. You know, it's not like a perfect square. There's like crown molding or whatnot. The homeowner has to, and if we have to work on the dryer and the washers in the way, the homeowner is responsible for access. So we do access in very little cases, but if it comes to moving a water heater out of a shed, or it comes to the washer, dryer, refrigerator, anything like that, or the dishwasher, if we have to get behind it, they have to provide, and it's in a closed in, counter area, they have to provide access for us. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have our guys, wreck their backs and possibly scratch the floors and all of that. So that is on the homeowner, and that's true across the board as well. So just to digress on renewals. So that being said, if any of you want to put a home warranty on your home, if you're living in it, if you have a rental, if you have a second property in Palm Springs or wherever you have it, or if you have tenants somewhere, we will give you brochure pricing, as you know, every year. We can cover anything that's livable. It does not have to be an escrow. So the difference is those are called DTCs, direct to consumer. And the only difference is we take the order and the property address, the coverage, and the payment all at the same time, whereas normally we'll bill escrow, and then coverage starts 30 days from receipt of payment. Also, if you want to refer that to your clients or your mom or your dad or friends, whomever, and you say, they're like, oh God, I'm calling every day, my plumbing is going bad, my this is going bad, say, you guys can get a home warranty on your property, and we will take their information and they will get brochure pricing the first year if it's a referral from you. If they call us in generically off the street, it's $150 more. So that's a nice perk for you guys as well. Like if you have a prospect and they're like on the edge, I don't know if I want to sell, I don't know what I want to do with my home yet at this time. Just say, how about getting a home warranty right now? It's transferable. You can transfer it if and when you're ready to sell. give them your information, you can get a home warranty, and because of me, you can get $150 off, and I can pass along my brochure pricing that I get as a realtor, put it on your house, everything's in order, and then you're set, and you have the warranty. You can either transfer that warranty and they can use up the remaining portion, or they can pay the difference based on the close, and they can get a full year, and we do a proration based on the new close date. So, I mean, I think that's a great marketing tool. I've had great success from some of my agents that have used that kind of lead into, you know, especially if they're complaining about, I've got to get all this stuff done in my house, I don't know who to call. They can always get a home warranty. We will cover anything that is livable, including ADUs, casitas, not tents. So not everything that's livable. But anything that's livable, an apartment, you know, a penthouse, duplex, fourplex, you know, 48 unit complex, anything that is livable. So the difference between an escrow transaction and just a sale, just to have one on your own home, is called direct to consumer. And it's 30-day hold because we have no escrow to bill. And it's $150 more because we're not using our realtors as guides to at least do a walkthrough and make sure the house is, you know, squared off, or you're having an inspection. We know you guys are going to at least do a walkthrough and, you know, make sure things have been written down, or have an inspector really come and check it out, because you don't want that to fall on your back. And as a matter of fact, I just on my way over here today, I had an agent from across the street call me, and she's like, I think we're in a bit of a pickle, and we have, you know, I'm just trying not to get this through. Did I disconnect something? Is this the camera?
Might be no, that's just the power to
To the computer?
Yeah.
Okay. She said, you know, we might be going to, is it litigation or deliberation? I forget the term.
mediation.
Mediation, thank you. Sorry, I have allergies today. And she said, we sold a house to a client out in 29 Palms, and they fought tooth and nail for the warranty. The seller didn't want to provide it. The buyer didn't want to buy it. We were going to buy it for them as their buyer's agent, but she didn't want it. It's 8 months later, it's 110 degrees out there right now. Her air conditioner blew. She got an independent out, it's $2,500. She calls her agent and says, I want my home warranty. So my agent's calling me freaking out. And she's like, what do I do? Can I buy one now? And I said, you certainly can buy one now. It's called a direct to consumer, but everything that she has wrong has to be taken care of, and we'll need proof of repair that it was. And I go, and she
And
goes,
it's 30 days later, right?
and it's on hold for 30 days, exactly. And she goes, well, what can I do? And I go, well, think about it. It's like getting in a car accident and then asking for car insurance. No one's gonna do that, right? So I said, I go, why did you offer her a home warranty? And she goes, we did. We put it in the counter that they didn't want it. And I go, did she sign off on it? And she said, yes, they did. I said, you're safe. It holds up in court of law. So there's 3 places that they can sign to protect yourself. And I'm telling you, this happens more than not, especially like in this last couple of months that behind us. You know, these houses were selling $430 over asking, 20 days and 10 days. I just had my agent yesterday. He's like, I sold it in 2 days. And I'm like, do you even have a stager? I mean, the stager can't even like get her stuff together. You know, stagers have had it really tough. But, you know, they're getting things closed so quickly. And, you know, they have void, because, you know, they're doing all these cash deals and whatnot, and they have void the warranty, which is terrible because the buyers are calling us after the fact, asking if they can buy their own home warranty. It's not that expensive when you're looking at what, like I was telling you yesterday at your meeting, what my microwave cost me to get a warranty at Best Buy, what my refrigerator cost me at Pacific Sales. I ended up selling the guy, this was before this past refrigerator I had. See, I go through refrigerators like toilet paper, but I bought my refrigerator at Pacific Sales, and he's trying to sell me the warranty. I ended up going to my car, getting my brochure, and I ended up selling him my warranty for his property. I'm like, you get so much more. So that was a pretty funny story. But so if you have a counter offer that says no home warranty and it's signed, which all documents should be signed off, or you have your TDS, there's a section on there, and I'm sorry I escaped the number on that because it's changed. There's a sign up that they waive the right to a home warranty, or right here on the inside of this brochure where the contract actually is, even if you don't fill the contract out, put the address on it And right here, it says, waiver of coverage. In waiving this program, applicant agrees to hold harmless their real estate broker and or agent against liability resulting from failure of major systems and appliances that would have been covered by Fidelity. I kid you not, the agent was crying to me. She's like, oh my God, I never knew this. Thank you so much. Because she didn't sign this, but she signed her counter. She signed it away. And I said, I can't believe she's trying to throw you under the bus. And she goes, I think she doesn't think that I remember, or I think she doesn't realize what a contract is. But a contract is a contract, and those go to small claims court, and the agent wins. If this isn't signed and you don't have a warranty and they come after you, who wins? The homeowner's gonna win, because there's no proof that you did your fiduciary duty of offering them a home warranty. So this is, I know it looks like kind of cartoonish, but this, you put it in your closing paperwork and your closing file, and you're protected. And people are using them more than ever now. I mean, I have a raging agent right now who is so out of line. It's like insanity. And first of all, he's helping a client on a renewal. I don't understand, because it was the homeowner's prerogative to renew the warranty. It has nothing to do with the agent. We don't tell you guys, after the first year, we take care of them so you guys can go out and do your business. But so this agent is on it. And so I didn't even look at it. I thought he was a property manager, because I'm thinking, why are you so on this property? And apparently, I don't know exactly what happened, but there were so many problems with the house that had nothing to do with the home warranty. It was like the drain pipes gutting and flooding the basement of the house. It was all these things, that shrubbery, that the roots were growing into the patio outside, just a bunch of stuff. And so he was trying to save face by helping the homeowner with this warranty, but he's burying himself, because he's just getting more and more involved. And I keep saying, step out. This is our job. You know, we know the terminology. You're over promising and under delivering, and you're putting me in a bad position, because that's not what our contract states. And he's like running from a place of panic. But he finally came to me and he's like, I said, this is just way out of control. Like, this is ridiculous. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never had something so tumultuous like this. And he said, I have so many problems with this client that have nothing to do with you, but I wanted you guys to take care of what you could, so I shine in his eyes. And I go, well, we are going to take care of what we'll take care of if it's under contract. But he wanted me, literally asked me on, what day is today? Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday? He asked me Monday to fly, get on a plane with my salary that I make, to go get parts for a Viking refrigerator, which is in Ohio, I believe, and come back with them. And I'm like, I called Carter's, I called Sears. Sears still has a service department. I called 2 other appliance contractors. I called American Home Shield, and I called First American. And I said, how are you guys dealing with Viking? I just want to make sure, do you have supplies that we don't have? And Viking is notorious for parts delays, for back orders. They know that they have the kibosh on the manufacturer, and no one else can do their stuff, because that's Viking, but they don't have any sense of urgency like we do. And when you're dealing with a refrigerator, it's sad, but we're at the beck and call of these manufacturers. And when you're dealing with Bosch, and you're dealing with Viking, and you're dealing with Sub-Zero, and you're dealing with some of these high ends, these parts are on those ships. Has anyone driven down Harbor Avenue these days? I actually put it on Facebook. I did a video. Did you see that by any chance?
No, but they moved the ships out further so you can't see it.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. I could not believe it. I went up to the,
It's been a few months, but now they have to anchor at, I don't know if it's 10 miles out or something.
Really?
So because of all of
yeah. And they said that the things are just sitting there because there's not enough staff to go and get them and empty them and bring them to it's the malls, like, you know how they're usually in the back? It's absolutely insane. And it's, so Viking was known for the last 2 years through COVID that, Viking was like, oh God, whenever I heard Viking, I was like, oh my goodness, but they haven't changed at all. Some of them are better, but it's just really difficult. So let us handle the renewals. You guys have enough to do. You really move on. Like, we really want to take the client from you on the first year. And we will always send you, that's why we capture your email. We'll always send you a card that will say what we did, what service we did for the property, what date of service, how much we spent, and the property address. So if you have 10 warranties with us, you'll know which one we're servicing. That is your best lead-in piece that I could give you. I'm not a big paper pusher. I don't shove stuff in mailboxes. My company's kind of paper friendly. We don't get a lot of stuff, but you'll get an email from Fidelity that will say, we serviced this property on such and such date. We paid $1,250 and we replaced their dishwasher. The homeowner only pays $75 or $85. They have no idea how much those things cost. That's a great tool.
And that's just during the first year, right? The
No, we still
renewals.
sent, well, yeah, you guys don't get the renewals, right, exactly. But that's a great lead-in piece for you to say, oh my God, I see that Fidelity, replaced your dishwasher. I'm so glad that we discussed the warranty, or we got it for you. By the way, could you keep me in mind for anybody that may be is anyone, looking to buy a home within your family, or can you refer me to a friend? Money talks, and again, they only pay the 75 or 85. They have no idea what we are paying out, and we pay out a heck of a lot of money. I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, she's like, how much is it to replace a tankless water heater? And I said, we can't get out from under 1,500 on those things, with codes and permits and the removal, and have to take it to an environmentally safe location and all this crap that goes on with it. And I said, I'm so old. I've been doing this so long that I remember it was $325 flat rate, be done with it, water heater, labor to install, and we're clear. I mean, and she's like, that's what I remember. And I'm like, well, that was 30 years ago. So, like everything,
Some
inflation.
refrigerators have dual compressor units. Is that like the Sub-Zeros or the larger?
Yeah, like they'll literally, well, those big massive ones, they'll literally have 2 separate compressors to run those refrigerators. Yeah. The last thing I want to say on refrigerators, unless y'all have a question, is if you get our refrigerator coverage, which is included in our enhanced plans, it's automatically included, but you can buy it as an option in any one of our policies, washer, dryer, refrigerator for $120. We just bundle it in the enhanced plus plan and give you a discount because we're doing like an inclusive of all these coverages. If you get that refrigerator covered, you can get up to 4 more refrigerators covered for an additional $50. That means a wet bar, a wine bar, a freestanding freezer, or a freestanding ice maker, or an auxiliary refrigerator in your garage to bring the turkey in for Thanksgiving that doesn't fit in the main refrigerator, or your outdoor refrigerator. But if you get the outdoor refrigerator that's like by the pool or the pool house or whatnot, you have to get the outdoor kitchen coverage too, which is $100. So you can't, like, if they get refrigerator coverage, and it even states it on the policy, and they say it's $100 for outdoor kitchen. They say my refrigerator is busted outside, and we see that they don't have outdoor kitchen, it's not going to be covered. We don't ask what refrigerators they have. We just say you get up to 4 more. We don't ask if it's a wet bar, a wine bar, a freestanding. We just say you get up to 4 more for $50. And a lot of people ask me if we'll do like a wine cellar. We do not. They're like the little ones, because it's only $1,000 aggregate that they get, $1,000 cash out on that. A lot of people ask me if we do elevators. We do not. A lot of people ask me if we do fountains and ponds or fountains and pools. We do. That's a new option that we have. And believe it or not, there's a lot of fountains. So we have fountain coverage, just to point that out. If you happen to have that, it's $80. Am I right on that? Ornamental fountain, $80. Yep, 4th one down. Okay, so let me take a breath. Do you want some food?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Am I going too fast?
So how quick is the service? For example, if your toilet's clogged.
Well, if it's an emergency, we're gonna get someone out and we're gonna have them respond right away, and get somebody out as soon as possible. And that's where it comes into play, where someone, if they're calling back and say, the guy said he can't come out for 5 days. Now, the reason being is because he's already got a schedule. We always will send it, like our queue, our algorithm, if you will send it to the top guy. We have them rated from A to D. And we're obviously going to give it to our top rated guys who are concise, on time, professional, diagnose it right the first time. So we have a whole thing. Our service department is insane. I can't believe how tight ship run it is. It's very impressive. I mean, everything is documented. And to answer your question, so we will send that to somebody right away. If they don't respond to the homeowner and she's like, well, I'm secondary damage, I'm afraid secondary damage is occurring, or the wall is bubbling, or it's my only toilet in the house, have them call us back up, because we will then call someone personally and say, when can you get out there? So we have tons of contractors in every field. Now, I had a homeowner call me and say she was like losing her mind, and she's like, I'm having a dinner party for 4 and my dishwasher's broken. And I'm like, that's not an emergency. Have you ever washed a dish? So yeah, that's not an emergency, but she clearly let me know that it was.
Well, with my question then was more like, if you're using this as a rental, and a lot of times you can call a plumber up for $100 to.
Call me on
install.
those things. Like, I have a guy in Palm Springs, and he's like, my guy can come out right now and do it for $80. I'm like, I'll do it for you. I mean, you gotta let me know. You can't do it and then.
Oh, so you actually reimburse that if?
I'm not supposed to say that. Where's the camera? Oh,
Oh.
But if you
Well,
have an issue.
I would think with the number of
You have to
vendors.
give us a chance first. You definitely have to give us a chance.
Well, I was opening the door for you because I thought that with the number of vendors that
Yeah.
you would have a better chance of getting somebody out there quickly than.
Well, we
homeowner
do a
going
lot,
through it.
because they will say, my guy can come out, and I actually had one from a broker in Manhattan Beach, and he was adamant about using his guy. And I'm like, I was finally done, and I'm like, all right, if you can get him out sooner. And our guy actually have gone out sooner, and he did.
Okay.
So he like a lot of them will puff their chest and say, I can do this, but the proof is in
But
the facts.
yeah, so like for a stoppage and stuff.
We get out there
usually
right all the time. Yeah,
Within a
that's our
half a
number one
day,
call.
within a half a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's our number one call, our stoppages.
is? Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Are you gonna eat?
I'm waiting to the end.
You don't have to, you can chow. They were chowing.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah, my clients, they were happy about the calling and town service quickly enough. That was good. I had experience with that.
Thank you.
And one last time, I closed it. After they closed, they were going to remodeling the bathroom.
Mhm.
And after they opened, they realized there was a leak. It
Mhm.
wasn't before they purchased it, but the guy came out.
Wait, it was before they purchased the warranty or the house?
The house. We always buy the warranty.
Okay.
Yes, and the guy came out saying he can do it. It's not gonna cover because the remodeling.
Well, there's a bunch of things going on there. So if they open the wall, we're not going to touch that. If it's pre-existing, we're not going to cover it because it's pre-existing, because it's, like I said before, it's like getting in a car accident.
Okay,
If it's happened after and they can date the note of failure, we would absolutely cover it. We just wouldn't seal up the wall. They would have to do that unless we put a hole in the wall. That we do, and we ask the homeowner if it's okay to do a leak location test. We would seal that we'd seal that to a rough finish, but if they put the hole in, they would have to do that themselves after everything dries. But if they went in there, say they closed Monday and today is Thursday, and there's, rust and water, and you can tell that didn't happen in 4 days, that will be deemed pre-existing. If they can't date the time of failure from the close of escrow date, then they'll go ahead and proceed. So it sounds like,
even though they are remodeling.
we don't care if they're remodeling, but if somebody touches something and breaks it while they're remodeling, not normal wear and tear.
Okay,
So our criteria to cover something is it has to have worked at least one time, and it really has had to work for the buyer. Okay, so a lot of times people try to pull the wool over my eyes and say, well, we had an inspection 3 months ago, and then there's been traffic in the house, or there's been no traffic, and we don't know what's happened between then and 3
Right.
months. That's way too long. I mean, we get problems 2 weeks after close of escrow. 3 months there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So it's up to our contractor. He's going to be the final say in that, because again, an inspector, he just does like a light look of the whole house. We are the ones that are like the meat and potatoes. We get into it, the system, and we touch it and we see what's going on. So at the end of the day, it's going to be our diagnosis. If you have an inspection that backs it up, I'll certainly take a look at it. And I've overturned many a denial, because we're human after all. But if you have and say, I did my due diligence, my total due diligence, I know this was working, my contractor signed off on it, or my inspection, send it to me and I'll overturn it like that, not a problem whatsoever. So it has to be in good working order for the buyer, okay? They have had to use it, they've had to do a load of wash or use the dryer. It cannot be missing any parts, and it has to break down due to normal wear and tear. I had a guy, I think I told you this before, and he was like angry. Everyone's so angry when they yell at me. This is why I look like this. And he said, you denied my dishwasher. I can't believe it. And I just moved in and it was perfectly fine. It was working. I used it before, and he goes through this whole thing. So I pull the report, and our contractor took pictures, and the guy had put his auto mechanic parts in the car, and all the WD-40 gunk was in the motor, which broke the motor of the dishwasher. So we're like, yeah, that's not normal wear and tear. Of course it worked. You broke it. Like, it's so not normal wear and tear. I had another one where this was a long time ago. Gloria Camiso, I'll never forget. The property was in Lawndale, and she called me on a Friday night, and she was like frantic. And she's like, you guys, they have water all over the place, and you guys went out, thank you so much. You went out on a Friday at like 8 o'clock at night, but they're not going to cover it. Why not? And so I'm like, all right, let me check it out. Let me get on the phone and find out. Someone ripped the water heater out of the wall and left a freestanding pipe just blowing water, didn't even shut the water off. There was no water heater. So I had to call her back, and I'm like, it's a missing part. Like, there is no water heater in the home. Someone is maybe on the 405 with it on his back. I have no idea. But we get all kinds of crazy things. Like if somebody is trying to, I have this happens all the time, and someone's trying to just get the property sold and change hands, and they do some Mickey Mouse kind of Jimmy rig kind of job. I mean, we had a guy that said it wasn't leaking when we moved in. I said, did your home inspector sign off on it? And he goes, well, he marked that it was leaking. This is a pipe underneath the sink. And I go, well, so did he come back after you fixed the job? And he goes, no, I forgot to ask him to come out. And he goes, but I swear I have proof that it was that on the inspection report that it was not leaking. So our guys, I pulled the report, and the guy had super glued it, like epoxied it. And of course it didn't leak for a minute, I mean, just to get the property sold. But how terrible to do to your client. Like, it's not even about us, it's about pulling the wool over your client's eyes. I just think that's just nasty. I see it every single day. And, I mean, homeowners also are blatantly honest. I had a homeowner call in, and she was so nice. And, I was trying to talk her through everything that she was going through. And homeowners are blatantly honest. And she said, my agent told me to wait till it closed because we didn't have enough money to get this taken care of, and that the home warranty takes care of things like this. And I'm like, and I had to go back and report that to the agent, and the agent was like, oops, like, I didn't think she would go blab that to the actual company, but that they're very honest, but again, all I can say is at the end of the day, we know what we're doing, and sometimes we don't. And then that's why an inspection stands up to help. Wanted to tell you about this flyer really quick, this quick claim. This is new. If you put it on your phone, even right here, it couldn't be easier to place a claim. It says quick claim right here. If you go on homewarranty.com, or you put that on your phone, or tell your clients that have home warranty to put that on as an app on their phone, you hit that and they can put their claim, whether it's their property address or their contract number. If it's an emergency, there's a button for that. So we handle those as an urgent rush call. Tell us what the problem is, and we dispatch it. It comes, I'll get you guys packets after the meeting. It comes to us faster than, actually, we can dispatch those out faster than calls. Now this is fairly new, but we are taking almost half of claims online now than we were on the phones. But we like to keep the phone lines obviously open for questions, and we like to keep it open. It's a hotline department, and we also keep it open for orders. So it has freed up our phones quite a bit. And people like to be online. Sadly, they don't like to talk to people. They just want to do everything online. And that's, so that's why we have it all different ways for whoever feels comfortable doing it, whichever way they want to do it. Let me tell you about HVAC tune-up coverage, because home warranty, we are a mechanical contract, and we we take care of the system or appliance. We take care of what makes the system tick. We don't take care of secondary damage. We don't take care of aesthetics. We don't take care of windows, fireplaces, elevators. We take care of mechanics. So we're a mechanical contract. We're not allowed to cross the line with homeowners insurance. They're not allowed to cross the line with us. We're not allowed to cross the line with manufacturer's insurance. They're not allowed to cross the line with us. Where was I going with this? I just lost my brain and train of thought. Oh, so we, on HVAC tune-up, it's a maintenance product. And so this is the first time we're actually doing maintenance. So your client, if you look on this, on the back page of the brochure, it will say, I'm gonna have pass these down to the gals so they know what we're doing. Second. On the HVAC tune-up for $25, it will show, we do like a maintenance program. So it's almost to prevent the air conditioner or the heater from breaking down when we need it the most. When it's hot, we need our AC. When it's cold, we need our heater. So this is like sort of like a preventative. You guys want to split these up? There's one of each for you. It does. Oh, I love you. Absolutely it is. An Enhanced Plus covers pretty much everything, yeah. But if you do the standard basic or the other plans, you can buy it for $25. And your client will get an email from us that says we can service your heater at between these dates, and we can service your air conditioner between these dates. So it's a maintenance service for your clients, and they love it. It's been fantastic. So if there is a problem with the heater that they discover, then that would be transferred over to a heater technician, and that would be a new call because there is a problem with it. So they're doing a preventative maintenance, but if they find a problem, then they have to place that claim for us to go out and take care of that. I'll tell you, it's on page, HVAC tune-up information is on, this is a brand new, oh, here it is, it's preseason HVAC tune-up on page 6, top right corner. So it will say that we will take care of the air conditioning evaporative cooler between February 1st and April 30th, and one heating unit between September 1st and November 30th. So if you have 3 heaters in the house, you would want to buy 3 of these because it's for one heater or it's one heater and one AC. So if you have 3 ACs and 3 heaters, you would buy 3 HVAC tune-ups for $75. And I do a lot of other properties up on behind the gates that have these extra heaters and extra air conditioning systems. Is there any questions on that at all?
So one for each.
Well, not one for each. You get one for AC and heat. And then you get one for $25 to cover the
It's
AC.
the optional coverage.
Right, and the heater. And it's included in the Enhanced Plus plan. Otherwise, it would be a $25 option.
And what's the square footage? Because you have for single family and condos, that's 780 for your Enhanced Plus. Is there a maximum size?
Yeah, 5,000. I just did a house today that was 5,200.
But anything up to 5,000?
Anything up to 5,000.
That's good.
And then on multi-unit, duplex, triplex, fourplex, when they're connected, we constitute those by being connected by a common wall. But I know we have some certain situations on the beach that will say it's a duplex when it's actually 2 on a lot. But if you're Zillow or Redfin or whoever is saying that it is zoned as a duplex, let us know that because we pull it up on ASACs and we will see that it's not, and the pricing will be different. But if you have proof that can substantiate that it's saying that, then we'll honor that because the price is less expensive. But if you do a duplex, if you do a multi-unit and you want refrigerator coverage, you can't just say it's units A, B, and C. You cannot just, because the pricing is inclusive for all 2, 3, or 4 units. So if you go on duplex we'll go on fourplex for simple sake, okay? So a fourplex for the Comp Plus plan, if you go over to that line, it's $1,170. Now, if they have a refrigerator and only one of them has a refrigerator, you actually have to buy a refrigerator for all 3 units. So even if they don't have a refrigerator and you really want a refrigerator for unit B, you have to buy it. So it would be $150 extra. The other number.
Since you're on that,
Sure.
that's been a real advantage to a couple of my clients that have units, like a duplex, 2 to 4 units. It's for basically for $2,000 for 2 years. So that's $1,000 a year. You can get coverage for a 4 unit. So any calls for plumbing, faucets,
Toilets.
it's a real advantage when they don't have a property manager to be able to just pay $1,000 a year for 4 units, and for a duplex, it's only like $500 a year.
Right,
You're looking
and
at
that
2 years.
slash, what Durf is saying, that shows you the 1 year and 2 year pricing. That's what that slash is. So we now do 2 year plans, which we haven't done before, but we will do 2 year plans, and we give you a bit of a break on that. Yeah,
Okay, so for example, I have a triplex coming up,
okay,
and I believe it's, it's one single freestanding house, and then 2 sharing one common wall.
okay, and it's zoned as a triplex?
It's a triplex, yeah, on title it shows like a triplex.
And what's the, like, how's the address show? Does it show ABC 1, 2, 3 or different addresses?
Well, it should be 3 units. If it's a house and a duplex, it's still a 3 unit.
Yeah,
Right.
it shows 3 numbers.
Oh, like ABC or 1, 2, 3 or something like that, yeah. Yeah, we would take that as a triplex. If it has like this house and they have one street corner and it's like Hawthorne Boulevard and then the other is 221st Street, those are pretty much, this is a freestanding home and that's a duplex, and we would do it like that. But again, we would have to see what side X says.
And it's also metered. I mean, it has.
That's another thing we would ask. If
That's
it's 1
the-
meter, that
it's
constitutes.
metered- It's metered, the gas and the electric.
Yeah, it's usually just one
Yeah,
water.
the
though,
water
right?
is only the
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
that the sewer. But for example, she only has appliances in one, and the other 2 are appliances that the tenants have,
Appliances such as what?
like a refrigerator and washer and dryer
Okay.
and all that. They're their own.
Right.
So what kind of coverage would you
I
recommend?
mean, as long as it's in the house, it would be covered if you paid for it. We don't care who owns it. It just has to be in the home.
Yeah, if it's a rental property, I wouldn't do the appliances. I'd just do the basic.
To the
because the
base,
calls-
yeah, because she's selling us as, you
You're
know.
not gonna get calls on the refrigerator because it's their appliance.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unless you're adamant about the owner that wants theirs covered, then you would just have to do it as like a forfeit.
Yeah, so for my representation with her
Mhm.
as a listing, I'm just going to suggest her to do the coverage for the Comp Plus plan or.
So that, the difference between first of all, no one really gets the standard anymore. Standard is so basic, it's not worth the money because the client is gonna end up spending more money on the backside by
Yeah.
trying to save money on the front side, and that's a fact. The difference between the Standard Plus and the Comp Plus, which is right next to each other, is air conditioning. That's it. So if you see Standard Plus, no AC, and then Comp Plus, that's with AC. So does the property or any of them have AC?
I think they have wall units,
We would cover those if you
or
want.
I'm sorry, window units.
Yeah, they're included in AC coverage if you wanted to cover them. If you did not, then you said it's a triplex. I would do the Standard Plus, no AC for $785.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, when people, let us know, because you have to understand, we're just like order takers. Like, we don't walk the property, we don't know it. So for our contractors' sake, we need to know how they're listed. Like, I'll have somebody write me and say, Suze, order this, it's a triplex, spend $1,000. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not gonna spend your money. I don't know what is in the house. I'm a home warranty rep. And also, we need to know how it's listed so we can tell our contractors which unit to go to after close of escrow. So we're not bothering the other tenants or the other homeowners. We need to know specifically what house we're going to. So we need that information. Of all your vendors, we take the least amount of information, and still sometimes it's like pulling teeth. It's unbelievable. When we take an order, we ask, and if you do it online, it's super easy, and I'm gonna do it at a meeting, but I'll show you on the big screen, and it's so easy, you'll love it. But, and then I'll just talk about this and then I'll be done, but we just ask for the other agent, if you want them to have a confirmation, which they usually do, they want, for their files, sometimes that's how they get paid by their broker, so they need to have that for their files. I know that RE/MAX can't get paid their commission until they show proof of payment on the warranty that's been ordered. So people want that documentation. And if they're calling you 6 months down the line, you're not gonna remember, you know, what coverage they have. You can just have it in your phone and whatnot. So we need both agents, we need the escrow company, the officer that we're sending it to, the close date, the type of coverage that they want, and the property address. That's all we ask for. If we don't get a proper close date, you and your client and the other agent will start getting emails from us. So say you were gonna close today and we haven't gotten paid, and today's June 6th, is it? 4th? Second, I don't know. It's June, first week of June, okay. Anymore, I can't believe it's June. And then so you had a scheduled close of June 1st, let's say, and it's June 15th, and we haven't gotten paid. Our computer automatically shoots out follow-up demands to escrow, to you, and to the other agent. What do you want us to do with this? I can tell you right now, escrow hates them. They're like, what is this? Why do I have this? The reason they have it is because somebody either A, didn't give us a close date, or gave us the wrong close date. But like, so I had one with an agent the other day, and he's like, did somebody not pay for the warranty? And I'm like, well, no, it's not been paid for. We sent you 2 confirmations. We sent you a demand. We sent you 2 follow-up demands. I mean, are you not looking at the things that we're sending you? We're not junking you, you know? And he goes, well, what do we do now? And I said, they had paid another warranty company. He's like, I don't want them. I want you guys. And I go, well, you need to call that warranty company. They're going to take forever to get the money back to you. But if you don't get it in our house in 30 days, it goes into a 30-day hold. So I suggest either you have escrow write a check or yourself, and then have them reimburse you when that check comes back. Otherwise, does your client have a problem right now? We want to take care of your client. So that's why we send those things out. And then of course, if it's canceled, we'll cancel it, and then you'll never hear from us again. So it's just, standard, paying your bills kind of thing.
Interesting. Now I know. I just closed the deal and then down the beach, and it's a fixer-up. So we're gonna tear down everything and rebuild it. The Remax agent was suggesting this thing. I have to get a home warranty.
You'll get that from Remax all the time. Yeah.
What can you get?
Well, they always ask me, and I'm like, escrow might have cut the check, but it takes 2 weeks for us to get that check. You need to call escrow, because we're not gonna, she can close it out in her books. I mean, that's why we go to escrow. She's the closer, but we won't get that for 2 weeks. So if you need to get paid, you're not gonna get paid for 2 weeks if you want to hear from us, snail mail these days, Yeah, that's notorious for them. I get those daily. What else can I answer for any of you? You guys have been so lovely and so attentive. Do you guys want to hear about sellers coverage? Are you interested in it at all?
I had a question on that. Is that a daily charge?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
daily charge. So sellers coverage is a great marketing tool for you guys to use. I will be honest that a lot of people are afraid of it. I don't know why, because I think they think free. It's not really free. What we did is we divided a basic policy by 365 days because we have to charge something. So we charge 99 cents a day or $1.34 a day, depending on what policy you're going to get. Do y'all see sellers coverage in the red right here? So we will cover the property during the listing and escrow period when you take the listing for this much money a day, up to 6 months. If at 6 months we don't hear from you, again, we'll be like, what do you want us to do? Has it closed? Has it extended? Has it fallen out? The only time you have to pay this is when we capture the buyer, when it has an escrow and it closes. So the buyer will have a warranty, and then we'll do an itemization for the seller's coverage. So if you had it for 30 days at 99 cents, it's $30 and change or whatever. So it's a great tool. We only cover we don't cover washer, dryer, refrigerator, pool, spa. We don't do the options, but we will do the comprehensive underneath it. But it is not used for your inspection to go out there, have a laundry list, and then you go, I'm going to put seller's coverage on it, and then the warranty is going to take care of it. And we see that all the time. People are always wanting us to take care of it. And we'd be put out of business as a company, but it's a good marketing tool for you. I mean, for $30 a month or, $40 a month, if that secures the listing for you versus a competitor and says, hey, and say your client's like, well, I just had another agent in here and he's got more experience than you. He's been in the business longer. And you say, you know what, he may be in the business longer, but did he offer you seller's coverage? How about you don't know, and you don't want a thing to go wrong with your property between the time I'm listing it and the time I sell it. How about I cover that for you and you don't have to pay a thing? And it's collected in escrow in the closing costs, so they don't really know where that money is coming from because the closing, I have a huge team that I work with in Hermosa that they put seller's coverage on every deal and they pay for that out of their pocket as a courtesy to their client, and that they're major listers, they're major listing agents. That's their claim to fame, is what they do. So, if a lot of people aren't doing it, do it, because you got the leg up on that. And then lastly, if any of you guys are buying the warranty for your client, we have these really cute little cards that says home sweet home. And then it says on the back, congratulations to the Smith household as a valued client of you. A 1-year warranty contract has been purchased as a gift for you. Your Fidelity contract number is this. And then what we email you with the confirmation, just download that and print it out and put it in with this. And here's a gift for you. They love it. I mean, truly, like, what do you buy? Flowers, chocolate, alcohol, which I've had so many agents tell me that they're buying alcohol and they're AA. How horrible is that? I mean, a warranty costs about the same. So this is a nice little piece for you guys. If anybody wants these, you're welcome to them. I can hand them to you, but that is it. Yes, Stella.
Do they purchase the 6 months?
They can purchase, the computer will calculate it to 6 months because that's how much they get. But you just call us and let us know when it goes into escrow, and then it will calculate at that point. So say you have it for 45 days, and then in escrow, you can say, I have seller's coverage with Suzy Pelshaw, Fidelity, and escrow will call us and say,
You
I'm
don't
calling.
pay for it up front.
No,
You don't pay for it.
you pay for it when we bill escrow for the close for the buyer.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
at closing, it starts, the buyer's warranty. So it's
Correct.
Going in, so this one is done.
So we bill for the buyer's warranty and the seller's policy at the same time. We calculate it by the close date,
And it
up
is,
to 6 months.
it is good. I had a listing, my first listing, 3 days before closing, the refrigerator went down.
But we won't do fridge on
Oh, you
sellers.
want to do for fridge?
Yeah. We do comprehensive, we do, all our basic, and then, excuse me, like, just really quick for an example, so I had an agent in Redondo, and this was back when people were transferring and escrows were forever long, right? These 60, 90-day escrows. And the husband got transferred to Atlanta, and the agent hadn't sold the house yet, and so she was doing brokers, and she warmed up some muffins in the dishwasher, in the microwave, and the microwave blew up. And she had seller's coverage on it, and she paid the service fee, and she got a $396 microwave without even having to contact the seller or without it even coming out of her pocket. So that's what it's good, that's like a great example that people have used the seller's coverage for. Good news? Well, you guys have
Thank
been
you.
lovely. Does anyone want one of these? Does anyone buy the warranty for their client? Yeah, okay.
Thank you for lunch.
You're welcome. I'm gonna have a nibble. You eat, your food's cold.
So good.
It's kind of cold.